Welcome to another Dwarven Tavern review. I am Dr. Jeff Goins, the general host thereof. And this time we are going to be talking about Castles and Crusades, Codex Nordica. That was kind of a Richard Burton. So, this goes for $27.99 from Troll Lord Games. 3 L's, www.trolllordgames, or trolllord.com. Get it right, or you can't find it. So this one is part of their whole Castles and Crusades series, which I love because of that whole attribute check thing that they use to simplify things very greatly, which is, to me, it's very cool. It's very playable. So they have a number of settings. Now, we did a review a while back of the Codex Celtarum. If you remember, well, you could probably go through the playlist and look and find this one, because we had some weird woogie camera things going on for no good reason. Skeleton. And this one is, that one was set in the Celtic regions, realms, culture, geography, etc. This one is Codex Nordica, which has a very Norse flavor, if you hadn't already guessed. So, what have we in this book? Well, first of all, with the 5 axes is the, by now, if you've seen enough of our videos, you know that the 5 axes are appearance, originality, creativity, organization. You might know it. I apparently don't. And playability, which is the first 4 combined, sort of. So we'll take a brief overview of those as we go through this. Now, this is it is arranged. Of course, the appearance, it's very Castles and Crusades. They've got that very specific style, which I enjoy. It's very reminiscent of first edition D&D, which I do enjoy. So, with this, it is arranged thusly. Chapter 1 is the history and cosmography thereof. And it talks about the mythic history, which is actually pretty accurate to the history of, as far as I know. I'm not horribly well versed on Norse history. I know some things, but they apparently have done their homework and put it together quite well, starting out with the history so you can get the flavor. Because if you're going to go with a setting, I think it's a good idea to get the flavor thereof. So therefore, you don't have to kind of guess or not really get into it. I think it helps to get into it more when you understand the flavor. If you're already a if you're already a Norse buff, then of course you're going to enjoy it because it goes back over the histories of the sons of Bor and Ymir's fate, the creation of mankind, the making of day and night, Asgard, the home of the gods, Yggdrasil, probably not pronouncing that right, the world tree, apparently I was right, the Odin's kingship of the Aesir, the many adventures of the Aesir, the final winter, and the age of men. Then in the next chapter, so that's all the history, right? So then we have the 9 worlds, which are the 9 worlds, which is Muspelheimer. This is gonna be fun, right? Muspelheimer, next, Niflheimer, Ginnungagap, Jotunheim, which, Jotunheim was the, the ice giants and all that. Helheimer, Midgard, Alfheim, Vanaheim, Asgard, Yggdrasil, and the Nordic lands. So, now that I have completely slaughtered all those pronunciations, we'll move on to chapter 3, which is Alfar, the magical beings and monsters, which is very it's a pretty extensive list. It's about 20-ish pages, 22 pages of monsters and magical beings. And in this one, it has the dragon, a dragon. Then it goes on to wizardry and enchantments, the gods and giants, warriors and battlecraft, the duel of honor, the heroic death, shield maidens, etc. Which, of course, Norse mythology, it's all about you bring home your shield or you are carried home on it. Then it has, in Chapter 7, is specifically Castle Keeper info. So you players, stay out. Then in Chapter 8, we have the Precious Works, which is Norse enchanted weapons and possessions from legend, dwarf smiths, because dwarves were big in, so to speak, in Norse mythology. Items and weaponry of enchantment, the Aesir and the Vanir, the Jotnar and allies, additional enchantments, and the OGL, which is the Open Gaming License, etc. So this particular book, it's just a very rich tome, and much like the deities and demigods from first edition, and in their book of gods and monsters, it's actually pretty educational. It serves for more than just to talk about and give gaming aids. Has some nice illustrations here on page 94. Okay. And they're all black and white because the pages are they're matte and non-glossy and non-reflective and very easy on the eyes. So either way, I think it's cool. Glossy pages are pretty. The non-glare pages are functional. So it just depends on what you like. I like these. I like the non-glare pages. So the illustrations, the history. It's very rich, just like the Codex Keltarum that we talked about. It has a lot of very pertinent and historically accurate, mythologically speaking, information about the Norse. So if you want to run a Norse campaign in this game, or really, honestly, any others, because it's Castles and Crusades, yes, but it is close enough to D20, so if you don't play the Castles and Crusades game, per se, you can... Oh, my skeleton died. You can also use this as an information or an encyclopedia of Norse things, because it's very rich in information. So I recommend it. I think it's a very good book. Yet another good one from the gentleman from Troll Lord Games, right? Castles and Crusades, Codex Nordica. I'm giving it full marks. This is getting 5 axes because it does more than it actually than most books of its ilk do. So it's not only a gaming aid, but it's also very rich in history, historical information, and it's just a cool book. So it gets full marks all the way across the board, including playability. Of course, if you're not playing a Norse campaign, you may not want it unless you've got invaders, which they did. They went in, they took things over, and then they said, show us how you do things so we can survive where you are. And that's what they did. So the Norse were very smart. Codex Nordica, $27.99 from Troll Lord Games. Don't forget to look them up at www.trolllord.com. Don't forget to look us up at www.dwarventavern.net. Don't stop gaming. And remember to subscribe, give us a like, leave us comments, tell us about your favorite Norse myth, and we'll see if we can find it in here and go from there. So, at first I feared it, then I charged. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Let the